Welcome everyone to the New Fly Fisher. I'm your host, Bill Spicer. On this week's show, I'm joined by top guide Graham Bristow, and our subject, affordable and accessible steelheading in Ontario. We're going to talk about tactics, flies, equipment, and even some tips that I didn't know about in the 40 years that I've been fishing. It's going to be a great one. I'm sure you're going to love it, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Let him go back to live another day.
And away he goes. Great fish. Wow.
Oh, baby. Look at that fish.
Stop, wiggle, on the way down. On today's show, the New Fly Fisher crew is fishing the Nottawasaga River in southern Ontario. The main branch of the Nottawasaga River is approximately 120 kilometers or 74 miles in length, of which 70 kilometers or 43 miles is open to steelhead fishing year-round. The Nottawasaga River is blessed with many cold water springs throughout. This groundwater is a perfect moderator for cooling the water in the summer and warming it in the winter. Cold water is extremely critical in the support of rainbow trout nursery habitat. Our guide for today is Graham Bristow, owner of a Perfect Drift Guide Company. Anyone that knows Graham knows that he's a salt-of-the-earth type of guy, extremely nice, friendly, and a guy that can full-out fish. This river is Graham's home waters, and I'm sure with his tutorage, I'll be successful. Exploring Ontario's steelheading opportunities need not be expensive. On this trip, I rented a nice, comfortable room at the Best Western in Orangeville. This facility is less than 2 hours from Toronto and the US border. I also hired a guide. I recommend you hire a guide at least for a day. It can mean the difference between success or not. I have multiple currents in front of me, and in order to get a drag-free drift, I got to mend. Now, right now, I have fast water in front of me, and when I mend the line upstream. The indicator gets across from me, I mend upstream, and allow it to drift. Mend upstream again. Every time the line gets below the indicator, you mend upstream when you got fast water in front of you. Now, when you got slow water in front of you, which is a little closer to where the camera is, I must mend downstream like this, because the slow water is in front of me now and holding the fly down. So I must mend downstream in order to get a drag-free drift. When you got slow water in front of you, mend downstream. Again. It's holding up, the line is being dragged. I mend downstream. Now I have a drag-free drift. You'll see the cork or the indicator floating just like a marshmallow would on the surface of the water if I just threw it in there and let it free flow. That's what you want. There we go, fish on.
Nice. Right
on the dangle. I didn't see that move at all. It's when I lifted it up. Oh, and he let go. Okay, that's one. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. We've only been here 15 minutes or so. Get my first one, and it was in this slick. I don't know if the camera can see it. I have a rock here, and then you got fast water behind it, but this side of the fast water is a slick. That's where he was laying. Now, what we're doing here, we have a big, long pool here with all different currents, and trying to figure out what to do here is quite easy. You break up a large section into little sections. You fish the little section first, thoroughly cover that, then you move to the next section. So what we've already started, we did the very top of the pool, probably a 12-foot to 15-foot section, backed out, moved downstream 12 to 15 feet, and I'm working my way across. And I'm gonna do that the whole time. I'm gonna back my way out, go down, work across, come back out exactly where you were, and we move down. That way you're sectioning the river up into little manageable sections, and you're covering all water. You're not just putting it all over the place. I'm starting shallow first and working my way across, a little at a time. That way you get all the water. And by the time you go through this, you should produce fish. That should happen. At least a hookup should happen.
So what we'll do is we'll start in close. We've moved back. We'll start in close, and then we'll slowly work.
Yeah, we've moved down 10 or 12 feet from where we were. So now you want me to work this water in front of me first?
Yep.
And then work my way out?
Yeah, we'll work it right on the.
Now that's the smartest thing to do, because the fish could be right at your feet.
Exactly. Yeah, you're better off to start in close and then slowly work your way out, or slowly work your way down.
Okay, let's do that then.
There should be fish sitting right in here.
Okay. I've shortened right up. I'm no more than 15 feet off my end of my line, end of my rod tip. Feed a little line down, get a longer drift. Perhaps the most effective way to become a successful angler is to improve your tactics and technique. It's often said that 90% of the fish are caught by 10% of the fishermen. Why do these anglers catch most of the fish? It's due to focus. They completely concentrate and immerse themselves on controlling their drift and what their fly is doing. When anglers are constantly distracted, this is when a fish will hit and an opportunity is lost. It's been a tough day. We've had high, bright sunshine. We were fishing with egg patterns and decided to change to something more natural. We're gonna see what we got here. He took the bottom fly, he took that worm, actually. We have a San Juan worm on the bottom. And we're fishing this steady run here. And this is the first fish, so that's good. High sunshine, that's your enemy, actually. The fish become very, very spooky. That's not a bad. It's a pound and a half, you know, it's 16 inches. But
that's a little bit smaller than average. Usually in here they're about 3 to 5 pounds.
3 to 5 pounds, yeah.
So that's a little bit smaller, but that's an indication that's a wild fish. It's got all its fins. So that's an indication that the system here is growing and the fish are plentiful.
Yep. And away he goes. Oh, that's good. Well, the smell of skunk is off of me. The best place to find fish are in the current seams. A seam is where two currents of differing speeds meet. Fish will lay in the slower of the two currents, but near the fast current. An easy way to determine where the seams are is to follow where the foam or the bubbles go. Another area that is a fish attractor would be rocks. The current breaks around the rock and creates a seam. Also, fish will hold directly in front of the rock in a hydro cushion that is created when the water is deflected around.
My preferred rod for fishing steelhead on the Nottawasaga and any of the Georgian Bay tributaries is a 7-weight, 10-foot rod or even 11-foot rod. Occasionally I'll use switch rods in the 6 and 7 weight range. The longer the rod tends to be a little bit easier for drifting, mending, and presenting the fly properly. I really like to use large arbor reels. I find they'll hold a lot more backing for some of the hard-fighting steelhead that we catch out here on the Nottawasaga and the other Georgian Bay tributaries. I like using 7 weights, 8 weights, and well, probably more 6 and 7 weights with floating lines.
I'll never doubt you again, Andrew. Never doubt you again, buddy.
I told you, he's the expert in here. I'm gonna get the net.
Yes, sir. Right at the end of the run. The indicator just moved a little bit. Wasn't much, and so I set the hook. And this should jump. He should be ready. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. You gotta love steelhead. You gotta love steelhead. Whew. Yes, sir. Now, again, I say this every time, but when you got steelhead on or any big fish, if they want to pull line out, you allow them to pull. As long as you can pull them in, you do. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. It's a good fish, too. Good fish. On a 10-foot number 7 weight, you got to love it. I'll lead him to you, sir.
Just got to get his head up and...
Yep. His or her. I think it's a him.
It looks like a male.
Yep.
Pointy snout.
Pointy snout, yep.
That's a fresh fish, though. Very silver.
Oh, yeah, very fresh. As soon as I stung him, I could tell. Well, look at how bullet clear he is, or bullet silver.
You ready for me to scoop him?
Anytime.
All right.
I'll lead him to you.
You hit that egg fly?
Yeah, it's the bottom fly, so it's the egg fly.
I like those big eggs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good. Very good.
In the bag.
Okay, in the bag, yeah. That is a bullet silver. Beautiful, beautiful Southern Ontario steelhead.
That's fresh in from the lake, probably
Yep.
1 or 2 days.
So let's step out a little bit farther and not drown myself. Oh boy, that water is cold. That didn't take long. Well, that is exciting. I've been fishing for over 40 years, and that still excites me like the very first time it ever happened. There's nothing like steelhead. Woo.
Today what we're fishing for are steelhead running in from Georgian Bay. What a steelhead is for the beginners is a migratory rainbow trout. It's a fish that's spawned or born in the headwaters of cold water rivers and creeks. When they hit a certain age, they return to the lake. They'll spend most of their adult life in the lake, and they'll return again to spawn as a mature and adult steelhead. An average steelhead in this area is 3 to 5 pounds, but we get them sometimes up to 10, 15, and even over 20 pounds. One of the Georgian Bay tributaries, known as the Nottawasaga, held the Ontario record, which was a 29-pound fish. And they're probably, in my opinion, the hardest fighting fish in Ontario, and a whole lot of fun to get on a fly rod.
Had to strip in on that one. Oh, and he let go. Oh, he broke me off.
He did.
He broke me off, yeah.
Who tied that knot?
Wowee. The flies needed when coming to the Nottawasaga River are egg patterns in various colors and sizes. Use small eggs in clear water and use the larger patterns when the water is cloudy. Woolly buggers in black, San Juan worms, and purple egg-sucking leeches are very effective steelhead patterns when coming to the Nottawasaga.
We're basically trying to keep that indicator right on the seam between the two currents, and we're trying to get a nice long drag-free drift all the way through the pool without it pulling towards us. The bubbles usually indicate right where the seam is, so for the most part, Bill's trying to keep it right in that bubble line. It's just basically a flip cast over. A lot of times you can use like a traditional style cast, and then a good hard mend. Flip the line way up above the float, and that way what it'll do is it'll allow the indicator to drift naturally all the way down. If you run it from the side, it tends to want to pull from the side, but if you get that line above the indicator, it tends to want to keep it over there. Bill just did a perfect mend, and from there it should run all the way down, providing the other current doesn't push it out. You should have a perfect drift.
Now, you know these rivers pretty good, don't you? I guess you've spent a lot of time on here.
Yeah, I'm out here about 7 days a week most of the time. 25 days a month, 27 days a month.
Well, how many different rivers do you guide on?
I'm on about 8 different rivers. All the rivers flow into Georgian Bay, especially the bigger ones, and then a few of them, like the Credit and the Grand, I spend a lot of time on, especially in the summer months.
And what species do you do you normally go after?
Well, this time of year it's all steelhead, but in the summer months we do brook trout and brown trout.
Right.
The two main species that I guide for is probably primarily browns and steelhead.
Okay.
The steelhead fishing can be really good here in the spring, and on some of the other rivers that I guide on, it's also really good in the spring as well as the fall.
And you told me you also do muskie fishing, so.
I do muskie, yeah. I run a guide service on Georgian Bay, and we catch muskies on the fly and with hardware as well.
Right, right. He said it would be just like a little jerk, and that was it. Oh man, gotta get him on the reel. I got a lot of line out here, so I'm backing up, trying to control him. Right now, I got control of him. He doesn't seem to be.
Looks like a nice fish, 3-pounder, 4-pounder.
3-4 pounder.
Fresh fish, silver.
Yeah. But you were right as far as the take. It wasn't anything that I've ever seen before. As far as the take, it was just like a bump, a quick bump.
The slower the water, the lighter the take.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
That's the log right there.
Got trying to keep a tight line on him there. He went right at me like an Atlantic salmon does. Come on up, buddy.
Oh, that's good fish.
It's a good fish, yes. Right on.
Gotta watch that log's right there.
Yeah.
Just see if you can drag him back up this way. If we can get his head up, I can net him.
Okay. Okay, I think we just about got him beat.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's a good one. And look at how thick it is.
Yeah.
Good thick fish.
Yeah,
And it's a male.
And it hit the top fly, hit the egg pattern.
Hit the egg pattern, did it?
Oh, missed.
No.
All right.
Good man, good man.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right, all
beautiful
right. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, nice fish now. It looks to be about 5 pounds, maybe a little bit bigger, but I don't think much bigger.
She's girthy.
It's got it's pretty thick around the middle, isn't it?
That's a nice fish.
You got the fly come out yet?
Let's see where it is.
Oh no.
Right down there. That fish wanted that.
Yeah, I'm surprised because the float, and this is exactly what it did. Just went, and that was it, and I struck. All right.
Yeah, right down there.
Yeah, he took it good, didn't he? Oh yes, that's a lovely bullet steelhead. Oh yeah, just a bullet. Gave me a great fight. Had a lot of line out there, so it was quite the comical of errors just trying to get it back in.
You did just fine.
All right.
Beautiful fish. That's a wild fish.
And away it went. Boy, that didn't take long, did it?
No, they go.
You know, the best thing about this, look at the crowds.
Nobody around.
Nobody around, and we got a whole river full of fish right now. This is fantastic.
There's a lot in here.
Yeah, just love it, just love it. Oh yeah.
The setup that we use for the rivers in this area are basically a two-fly system. We usually run a bottom fly, different colors. It could be an egg pattern or it could be a nymph. We'll run it up about 12 to 16 inches to a secondary fly. This top fly can be either tied to the hook shank, or we can sometimes use a tag system. From that, we normally run about another 12 to 16 inches up. We'll run a couple split shots depending on the current, maybe 3, maybe 4. And then from that, we'll run up to strike indicator, and depending on the depth of the water, we'll run the strike indicator usually 1.5 to 2 times the depth. If it's a slower pool, oftentimes if it's 6 feet deep, we'll run exactly 6 feet. The overall length of leader normally is somewhere between 9.5 and 11.5, and again, that depends on the type of water that we're fishing.
Steelhead in the Great Lakes are not purebreds. In fact, they are genetic mix and strains from the west coast. After years of interbreeding and adapting to the Great Lakes ecosystem, they've evolved into their own unique strain, a species that is hard fighting, acrobatic, and beautiful, which is why anglers will go to great lengths to catch these chromed beauties. Graham, being a professional, didn't want to fish, but I was having a great day and encouraged him to show me how it's done. Keep her under control, buddy. Keep her under control. All right.
That one's right at the tail out.
Did it take it right under, or was it just a subtle hit?
It was a slow pull. It just finished saying that's the sweet spot, and down she went. Just gonna try and get her on the reel, and feels like a good one. She's hanging down deep, so it feels like a good one.
Good man. Good man.
Oh, nice jump.
Good fight. Look at the rod bend. Oh man.
Here she comes. Here she comes. Whoa.
Good fish too.
Yeah,
Real nice
that's a good
fish.
one. Good fish. There she is.
Beautiful. Now I want the audience to know when the show to see that Graham is letting the fish move when it wants to. This isn't a tug of war per se. It's you're trying to tire the fish out. Very good. Excellent fight. There's nothing like a steelhead fight, is there?
Best fight there is.
Best fight,
Look at
yes.
that. All the way
Oh
across
my
the
goodness,
pool.
look at that. And it's not even near ready yet.
When she runs, you just give.
Yeah, you have to.
And when they slow down, you just take up the slack.
Yeah, you take advantage of it when you can.
That's a nice fresh fish. I don't know if she's ready yet.
I don't think she's quite ready.
There she goes.
What fly did it take?
I believe she's on my my pink egg fly.
Pink egg fly, okay.
Big-
And away we go. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Excellent, excellent, sir. Excellent, sir.
Great fish. She's still got some
She's
spunk
still
in her.
got some spunk in her, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
There we go.
That's a beauty.
That's a nice one. Look at the colors on her. Nice hand.
Yep, she's just starting to darken up.
Just starting to darken up. She's probably in a day or two.
Yeah, she's probably been in
Yeah.
close to that.
Okay. And away she
No problem
goes.
going back.
I highly recommend you give Graham Bristow a call at A Perfect Drift Guide Company for your next angling adventure. For more information on this show and others in our informative series, visit us on the net at thenewflyfisher.com. From all of us here at The New Fly Fisher, thanks for joining us. Tight lines, and we'll see you next week.